Excuse me, I got a question.
Somebody give me Romans 13 and 11.
I have a question.
It's a rival car, man. Give me Romans 13 and 11.
Khan, this is the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Brother, you need a water?
Thank you.
I think we got a problem, got a problem.
Let's go. Get up. It's that club, baby. You hear that? We can't sit down to that. Okay.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy, Sheik Luch, LOXD Block, Silverback. Hey, yo, right now I need to shout out the ISUPK classes.
I want to give a huge, big, humongous shout out to all the UPK schools.
We can't sit down to that.
Shout out to Black Watch, hosted by General Johanna. Word, I need y'all to check out Cross the Line Radio as well, man. They've been open all week from 7 to 9. They ain't shut down because of the corona, the COVID and all that. They rockin' strong, you know what I mean?
Think we got a problem, but really it ain't though. It's one of me and these bitches, I count about 3, 4. Think we got a problem, but homie just all talk. He ain't gon' pop a balloon with a pitchfork. Think we got a problem in the club with this dog. Rude boys, dogs, ladies, everybody.
Shalom, Christ. This is the ISUPK. We started in 1 West Harlem, New York, under Commander General Johanna. We teach that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true children of the Lord, you know what I mean? And not those fake ones over there fighting Palestine to this very day. And tonight is a Wednesday night law class where we discuss how the law is still important, and the law is the #1 thing for us as we do to teach to get our people out of here. And to start things off, brothers and sisters, blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, it is vital that we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's right. And that we dump everything that we learn from the Christian church about them. Because the Bible says this. Can you give me Deuteronomy chapter 4? And we're going to verse 6. I'm going to bring it on stage real quick, so lock it. Deuteronomy chapter 4. Oh, and shout out to the chat, just Aaron Pate and Dwayne Davis. Shout out for y'all coming in and checking in with us. 36. You can read it when you're ready.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding from the sight of the nations.
Right. So God just said, this is our wisdom and sight among the nations. You know what I mean? So what's he talking about? Do them. He's talking about the law, statutes, and commandments. Keep going.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Right. They're going to hear all these statutes, all these commandments, and understand, maybe I shouldn't eat pork. You know what I mean? Maybe I should, you know what I mean? When I have sex with a woman, I should keep her. You know what I mean? That divorce is not allowed. Maybe I shouldn't worship a rock. Maybe I shouldn't worship, you know what I mean, any of those other false gods. Maybe I shouldn't do Christmas, shouldn't do Halloween. They're going to look at us and say, sure, this is an understanding of wise people. Go ahead to verse 7 for me.
Verse 7. For what nation is there so great, who have God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for?
Except for what nation is so great? That's a question that they're asking. And of course, it is the Israelites. You know what I mean? Now we can jump to verse 32 for me.
Verse 32. So lock in one moment. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before thee, since the day that God created man upon the earth, and ask from the one side of heaven unto the other, whether there hath been any such thing as this great thing is, or hath been heard like it.
Right. That's the question. He's saying ask. Read it from the top.
For ask now of the days that are past, which were before thee, since the day that God created man upon the earth, and ask from the one side of heaven unto the other, whether there hath been any such thing as this great thing is, or hath been heard like it.
Exactly. He's talking about the law, statutes, and commandments. He's talking about when he brought the children of Israel out of the captivity of Egypt.
Right.
You know what I mean? Has there ever been such a thing as great as this? And the obvious answer is no. Can you give me Proverbs 1 and 7?
And that was Proverbs 1 and 7?
Correct.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
Right. It says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. You want to be smart, you're going to have to fear the Most High. You fear that the evil he'll deal to you if you do not keep his law, statutes, and his commandments. This is the kind of fear that when we read about Egypt, we're like, damn, I don't want that to happen to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? The fear, when he says the punishments of adultery, you know what I mean, it's death. The fear of the Most High. Because he's the one who ultimately controls everything that happens to you. Whether you live, die, you know what I mean? Whether you get punished or rewarded, it's all up to the Most High's doing. Read it for me again.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
Right.
But fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Right. So you're a fool if you don't fear the Most High.
Damn right.
I would just say you're a fool. You know what I mean? What's one of those things we got to fear within the Most High? So tonight we're going to talk about marriage. Give me Exodus 22 and 17. We're going to go into what exactly is marriage. You know what I mean? Because a lot of things we learned as a Christian about what marriage really is, what happens in marriage, and how do you get married. So how many out there really think that you need a ring and a piece of paper, you know what I mean, for you to say that you're married? I know a couple of us, I used to think that's what marriage was. But this is what marriage really is. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22, and Salaki, would you like me to start at 16?
Yeah, come on.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22, and verse 16.
Go ahead.
And if a man entice a maid,
If a man does what?
Entice a maid.
Entice a maid. Go ahead.
That is not betrothed.
That is not betrothed.
And lie with her.
And does what?
And lie with her.
Okay.
He shall surely endow her to be his wife.
The Bible says he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Now let's read it from the top one more time.
And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
He says entice a maid. Now I know all your brothers out there know what entice a maid means. I mean spitting game, or not. I want to say spitting game, but like smooth talking to her. You know what I mean? Smooth talking to her.
Right.
You see a fine joint at the mall, you talking to her, trying to get a number. You know what I mean? Trying to get to know you type shit. You know what I mean? Keep going.
Verse 17. If her father utterly refused to give her unto him.
Salakia. Start up in trough. Salakia.
Salakia. And lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. You want me to start back?
At betroth, where it says betroth.
Okay.
Is it able betroth?
Salakia. That is not betrothed.
That is not betroth. So betroth means if she's courting a man,
right,
or if she's dealing with any man at that. You know what I mean? God forbid it be a heathen. I know some of y'all wish you could take her from that heathen, but you can't. She is married to that man. You know what I mean? That's what betroth is. She's courting or seeing that man. Keep going.
Verse 17.
Right?
Oh, Salaki, I keep skipping. And lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
And lie with her, right? So now the Bible didn't exactly come out and say have sex with her. He says you lie with her, right? So what happens when you lie with her? That means sex. Keep going.
He shall surely endow her to be his wife.
Listen, brother, you shall surely endow her to be his wife. And that goes for you, sister, as well. You know what I mean? You're not exempt for that either. You choose to lie with a man, that's become your husband, and that becomes your wife. Now, to further prove my point, I'm going to bring out in the Bible, in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, right? I have that definition of marriage. It says marriage is an intimate, personal union to which a man and woman consent. That means, okay, so it's a man and a woman. It's not a man and a man or a woman and a woman, because that is not a real marriage. No matter if the Pope says you can marry people or not. You know what I mean? Because the LGBTQ community can go and get a marriage license today, and it won't mean nothing. They're not married in God's eyes. They're just committing sin, and they're an abomination.
Right.
But a man and a woman have to consent. I'm gonna keep going. Matter of fact, I'm reading from the top. Marriage is an intimate personal union to which a man and women consent, consummated and continuously nourished by sexual intercourse. That's what marriage is. So just like we're backing up in Exodus 22:7, where it says if you lie with her, you shall surely endow her to be your wife. That's what the Zondervan Bible Dictionary said on marriage is. When you have sex with that woman or when you have sex with that man, you are undoubtedly now married in God's eyes. And you don't need no big fancy ceremony to prove that.
Right.
I know in times past, before we came into the truth, we didn't know that was marriage. And we did a lot of things that was looked down upon in God's eyes. But now that you come into the truth and you know what you're supposed to do, we have to do it. And we cannot be controlled by our lust. I'm gonna say it again. We cannot be controlled by our lust. You know what I mean? Just because a woman has a big butt, you know what I mean, and you look at her and you're like, damn, I want to go and crush that. You got to use your head, feel me? Because if you have sex with that woman, that is now your wife, and whatever problems that comes with her, you know what I mean? She can have mental issues. She can be bipolar, have schizophrenia. Who knows what kind of mental illness she has? That's your woman. And in terms, and if a brother in the school gets another rib, that becomes our sister. Now we got to deal with her. Or if you're a woman on the opposite side, you know what I mean? If you're a woman, you know what I mean? And you're looking at a man and the things he possesses, pause, you know what I mean? You might like. We got to deal with that. So we have to be careful on who we choose. Read that for me again. Exodus 22 and 17.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 17. If her father utterly refused to give her unto him.
No, it's like 16.
16.
My fault. I'm tripping.
No sweat. The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16.
Right.
And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed,
right,
and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
Appreciate it. Genesis 24 and 67. He shall surely endow her to be his wife. So what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen that's out there in the world? Or you might be our brother and sister at school and you feel the urge, you know what I mean? You feel the lust of the flesh coming upon. Listen, just know it's one and done. You have sex with that person, that is now your wife and husband. You guys are now married. There's no retries. You don't get to redo this, ladies. Especially ladies, because it's especially important for y'all. Because you guys can only be with one man. So make sure you are properly examining the man who likes you. You know what I mean? Because this is it. You have sex with him, that's it. You know what I mean? That's it for y'all. You got the book in Genesis for me?
One time. The book of Genesis, chapter 24, verse 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent.
Who's her? Rebecca.
Isaac, yeah, Rebecca. Salaki.
No problem. Read it again.
That was Leah or Rebecca.
I gotta go read it twice myself.
Right.
Go ahead.
And took Rebecca, and she became his wife.
And she became his wife. Now it's crazy because I was talking to her brother today, right? And I read him the verse in Exodus, and I said, "So he had sex and you got married to her." So then I brought him to this verse to even back it up.
Right.
So I asked him. So I'm gonna ask. I asked the same question I'm about to ask you.
Right.
What happened in that tent?
Oh, he tore fire to it.
Exactly. Crushed that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Came back, and now they are married.
Right.
I told him, what happens in between? What happened inside that tent that he became married?
Right.
Boy, they didn't want to answer me. I'm like, come on, bro, come on. You know what happened in that tent. You know what happened in the tent. We all grown here. You know what I mean? Isaac crushed that. Came out and said, this is my wife now. Read it again.
And Isaac brought her into his mother's tent. And took Rebecca.
Hey, what's up? Listen, you know how women always try to say they get mad at a man for like staying with his mom? Listen, Rebecca got cracked in the mom's tent, in the mom's crib, boy. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, she got cracked in the mom's crib. I just peeped that when I just read that right now. Read it from the top one more time.
And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent.
In his mother Sarah's tent. That's crazy to me. That just took me right there. Right to the mom's crib. Go ahead.
And took Rebecca.
And took Rebecca, man.
And she became his wife.
And she became his wife. Is that it?
And he loved her.
And he loved her.
And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? That's what you women are good for, comfort. If woman ain't doing that, you got a dragon on your hands. So now we just back Now we just back up even further. Rebecca and Isaac, when he went inside that tent, they became married. And of course, we all know what went down in that tent. We're all grown here. You know what I mean? We're not 3 years old. We're not little kids that know what's going on. Isaac had sex with Rebecca. And in that tent, he became his wife. And this is what I always say. I mean, for men and women, I'm going to say this again for men and women. We have to choose carefully about who we have sex with. Because once you have sex with that person, you are now married.
Right.
If you go out to the club and you want to do a one-night stand, God forbid, nobody in the truth should be doing one-night stands no more. If you're a brother in the world, you still want to do one-night stands, be very, very careful, because you are going to be attached to that woman for the rest of your life. And if you're watching this class right now, and you decide to go and break this law and commandment, you are willfully sinning against the Lord. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring that scripture out. Can you give me Hebrews chapter 10 and 26? I'm gonna get that Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 26. 1 second. Let me bring it up on my computer too, so the people can see it. Hebrews chapter 10 and 26. Oh yeah. This is a big one. You can read when you got it.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 26.
Right.
For if we sin willfully.
What's sin according to God? Sin, the transgression. Go ahead.
I was about to say transgression of the law.
Transgression of God's law. We'll get that for you. We'll get that for you guys in a second. It's the transgression of God's law. What does willfully mean? Willfully means you're willing to do it with no fear of the Most High, right? Keep going. I'm at Slakia. Read on top for me.
For if we sin willfully,
right?
After that we have received the knowledge of the truth.
After you receive the knowledge of the truth. So you know the laws of the Bible. You know sex is marriage now, right? Go ahead.
There remaineth no more sacrifice for sins.
God damn. There remaineth no sacrifice for sin. Thought you're just going to get away with it? Keep going.
Verse 27.
Right.
But a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation.
But a certain fearful looking for a judgment and fiery indignation is what you're going to be looking for. Finish it off for me.
Which shall devour the adversary.
We shall devour the adversary. You're an adversary against Christ if you come against his law.
Right.
That's just what the Bible is saying. Don't get mad at the messenger. Give me Galatians 6 and 7. It's like 1 John 5 and 3. Let's go there first.
John 5 and 3?
Yeah. Let's go with what a sin is. So everybody out there that's watching knows what sin actually is. 1 John 5 and 3. Read it when you got it. Or we can start at verse 2.
Did you want 1 John 3 and 4?
Right. I appreciate you, man. They say iron sharpened iron.
Good. The book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4.
Right.
Whosoever committeth sin, transgresseth also the law.
Transgresseth also the law. Go ahead.
For sin is transgression of the law.
Right. For sin is a transgression of the law. So for you Christians out there, you're sinning by breaking the law. And I know a lot of y'all don't believe in the law, but Christ just said that sin is transgression of the law. Now we go to 1 John 5 and 3. Right, Slocky. Or 5 and 2, Slocky. 5 and 2.
The book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 2.
Right.
By this we know that we love the children of God.
For this we know we love the children of God, right? Go ahead.
When we love God.
When we love God. Because Christians always talking about God's love and loving God and stuff like this. Keep going.
And keep his commandments.
And keep his commandments. Let's finish it up. Go ahead.
For this is the love of God.
For this is the love of God.
That we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous.
That's it. You know what I mean? Sin, transgression of the law. Right? We love God by keeping his commandments.
Right.
All of these things play a very vital part. And remember, tonight is the Wednesday night law class. You know what I mean? Going back to marriage, divorce, and interracial marriage. You're married to that person when you have sex with them. I'm going to keep reiterating that the whole night. You are married to that person when you have sex with them. And there is no voice. Go ahead.
So, like that, the one that we read initially was Hebrews 6 and 10 or 10 and...
It was 10 and 26.
10 and 26?
Let's go back to it. Since
if I could, just, It was 10:26. Could I just read it?
Absolutely.
But since we know what sin is, can I change that word?
Absolutely.
All right. For if we transgress the law willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for transgressions of the law.
God damn, that's tough. I appreciate it. Heard what the brother just read. You want to transgress God's law willfully? No more sacrifice for your sins. You know what I mean? No more. Like, I don't know what else to say past that.
Right.
Like, what could your Christian pastor possibly say against that? You know what I mean? Because Christians always say he died for our sins, but the law is done away with. Make the two make sense. So what do you say from? They say we save from our sins. What do you say from? You say from your sins? But I thought Christ did away with the law. So you have to pick which one you think. You know what I mean? You can't be in between.
Right.
Hanging between the two. You have to choose, man. Oh man. Let's go to we're gonna go to the Apocrypha, right? So if you guys don't have one of these, you should get one. Ecclesiasticus chapter 23, and we'll go to verse 2. Now, 23 and 2. I don't got the app on my computer, so I will get it to you guys on this right here. 1 second, let me get it for y'all.
And that was 23 and 2?
Come.
And if I could, you know, just if I could.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Dealing with marriage, you know, and what has been told to us versus what marriage is.
Right.
You know, being a Christian, we all know that we didn't know the biblical definition of marriage.
Exactly.
So looking at what you read is literally perfect for somebody to understand it, but they actually have to hear what you're saying. Because I think you were saying you explained it to a brother.
Yeah.
And he still did not want to say what happened because if it doesn't match up with what he's been taught from his slave master, he doesn't really want to acknowledge it. And even when what was it, Laban, which was
Laban?
Yeah, he gave him he gave, what was it,
Leah.
Isaac?
He gave Jacob Leah.
Leah. And then that became his wife. There was no, they went in the tent, he tricked them, and then that was his wife, even though the ceremony he thought was for Rachel. Right. That was his wife because that's who he slept with.
Right.
The ceremony didn't matter because he still had to do that extra week of work, you know, for Rachel. So that ceremony, it don't mean nothing. As long as she's not betrothed, you can go through the ceremony. If you didn't consummate that marriage with, as you put it, the cracking, then it don't matter.
It's what it is, man. Right. And that's a very excellent point with Jacob and Leah. You know what I mean? Jacob was tricked into marrying Leah. Right. He still had to keep her. He didn't give her away. He didn't put her away. You know what I mean? He went and did another 7 years for Rachel. That's a tough brother right there. You know what I mean? I can't imagine doing 14 years for a broad.
It's like I've never been tricked into sleeping with one.
I know, right? It's even crazier, right? And it's like, my thing is, like, you ain't know that wasn't the girl you wanted? Was it like completely dark down there or something? Like, goddamn. You know what I mean? Like, you was, my thing is, like, when I think about that story, right? Jacob was around Rachel and Leah for 7 years before he had sex with her. And he couldn't tell the difference between the two. You know what I mean? That's crazy to me. You were around the chick for 7 years and you ain't know. You ain't know which one you had. Oh man, that's tough, man. But shout out to Leah, man. She gave birth to the 12 children of Israel. She helped us with it. Right. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. All right, let's get to Exodus 23 and 22. So now we all know that divorce is not allowed.
Did you want the Ecclesiasticus one first?
Is that what I said?
You said Ecclesiasticus, but we go to, you said.
Slocky, I went Ecclesiasticus, like in our Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus.
So you want Ecclesiasticus?
No, Ecclesiasticus. 23 and 22.
23 and 22.
Come on. You got it? You need the
No, I got it. 23 and 22.
Yeah. So we all know that divorce is against the Most High, right? So we know you're one and done. Meaning if you had sex with that man or woman, that's it. I mean, there's no retries. Like, you can't redo this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's very heavy. You're stuck with that person. And if you're a woman and if you go and have sex with another man, you are an adulteress. And if you're a man and you have sex with another man's wife, you're an adulterer. And the end result is death. But let's read also what the Bible has to say about this matter. Now, before you begin reading, let's start at verse 16. We're going to talk about the man first. Go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 23 and verse 16.
Right.
2 sorts of men multiply sin, and the third will bring wrath.
Right.
A hot mind is a burning fire.
Uh-huh.
It will never be quenched till it be consumed.
Right. A hot mind. That's somebody that's quick to anger. You know what I mean? Like some hyper angry some hyper angry dude, you know what I mean? That can't control himself. Keep going.
A fornicator in the body of his flesh.
A what?
A fornicator in the body of his flesh.
Hey, what's a fornicator? Because I was talking to this brother earlier today. He kept using the word fornicator. What do you think that means?
A fornicator is somebody who is having unlawful sex.
Absolutely. So it's not sex before marriage, is it?
Wow.
Okay.
It would be like if a man had, sex with somebody else's wife.
Exactly. That's fornication. Listen, everybody that's watching me right now, fornication is breaking the laws of sex that God created in the book of Leviticus.
Right.
That is LGBT sex, LGBTQ sex, having intercourse with animals, and intercourse with your brother and sister. Go ahead.
It's lucky. If I could, when people say they can't, that's the literal one I go to. Every time somebody says, well, we can't keep all the Most High's laws because they're too hard. I'm like, well, which one is hard? You're not trying to have sex with goats, are you? That's one of the laws.
Hey, that's funny.
That's one of the laws right there. You're not
exactly.
Having are you? That should be easy.
I'm about to go and crush a sheep.
Right. I'm a lamb chop, so I'm not trying to, chop the lamb like.
No, man. What's going on? That's a good point, man. But they don't think like that
at all
because they think fornication is through the more modern definition, the way the Europeans think fornication is, which is having sex before marriage.
Right.
You got to get down on one knee. You got to take her hand and put a ring on it. Put a ring on it and say, "Will you be my wife?" Man, I'm so glad I came into the truth. I ain't never doing that shit. But that's so emasculating. You actually sit back and think about it too, man. Like, a little crazy, man. So that's what fornication is, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's read it from where a fornication in the body.
A fornicator in the body of his flesh will never cease till he have kindled a fire.
17.
All bread is sweet to a whoremonger.
Hold up. All bread is sweet to a whoremonger, man. Damn, that means no matter, he thinks everything looks good. No matter what the broad is wearing, no matter what she doing. You know what I mean? What Kobe Bryant doing? He had sex with the nastiest slut, man. Think that guy and found out she got hit. She got cracked by like 5 dudes that day, and he was a 6. And he went in there raw. God forbid. I know, right? This is nasty as hell.
Good.
I know, right? Like you a 6 person inside. Listen, 5 dudes, 6 dudes in a day.
Damn, Kobe was the 6th man for once in his life.
I know, right? Last place. I mean.
And Salaki, I think he went and told on Shaq after that.
Oh, I don't know about all the details. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? No.
And Salaki, if I could,
absolutely.
This is so heavy because there are a lot of brothers that are in the world and they either got exposed to something when they were younger to turn them like this, where they're just so, you know, coming up, we used to call it girl crazy.
Uh-huh.
You know, now they came up with the term thirsty, to where they're in any and everything. And it's gotten so bad to where they're just so much of a whoremonger. I'm even seeing on the internet to where these dudes are so thirsty. They're just so, you know, girl crazy. They on the internet and, you know, they going after, you know, young, you know, women that aren't even, you know, ready to be with a man.
They're underage.
Yeah, underage. Or, Salahi, and this is terrible.
Yeah.
And this happened to another fake Israelite group where a brother is so thirsty, he mess around and get tricked into being with an LGTB, however you say it, Q member. He's so thirsty, he willing to just jump into bed with any old thing. Don't even realize it's really a man.
What color they wear?
I think it's the
purple. They wearing purple, right?
Yeah, they wearing purple.
Uh-huh.
But you know, if I could,
yeah,
you can't be such a whoremonger and so thirsty that you're not ready to have like some sort of, you know, patience and some sort of, I'm looking for the word, I don't think it's discretion, but you're willing to, you're supposed to be, you know, choosy. If I could just use a plain simple, you should be choosy with what you get in that bed with. And the way General Mahoney broke it down is, if it's not a woman that you want to have kids with, you shouldn't be sleeping with.
Exactly.
Because any hoe on the street shouldn't be able to get into your bed.
Exactly.
So when you're getting tricked into having sex with a man, night.
I know, right? Like, how did you not know that was a dude? Like, who
thirst?
Well, he got the same tools as you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that's gonna work out. could it be me? You know what I mean? Hell no.
Like,
you know what I mean? Listen. But ladies, thank God that in ISUPK we like women over here. So you don't gotta worry about us. You know what I mean? You come to ISUPK, yeah, and we're selective. You know what I mean?
That's a great word.
Selective. We're very selective when it comes to who we have sex with. And we actually have a 1-year rule for courting.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you court her for a year or 6 months to a year. You know what I mean? See if y'all like each other, see if y'all click. Y'all got the same interests, you know what I mean? Then I think, do we pay a dowry here? Oh no, I didn't get no rib here yet. We pay a dowry?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. I think we pay a dowry.
Yeah, that might be that's our culture. So I'm assuming, I might have to ask that question.
Yeah, that brought might cost $2,000. You better be on your best behavior, man. Right. I'm trying to tell you. It cost me $2,000. You gonna disrespect me? Do we get? Listen, hey, you know, I always wonder.
You ain't no refund.
I know something about to ask. How do we get a refund, dog?
Hey, man, marriage is final.
Our marriage is final, huh? Right. I'm gonna take her back, man.
But if I could, you know, marriages aren't something that we see on TV. So there's going to be disagreements. You just know we gotta operate in the realm of this forever. So we on the same team. I'm the head of the household. We may not disagree, but hell, we gonna get through it.
That's all it is to it, man. That's all it is to it. Listen, if I marry one of y'all women, just know we're in this for life. We are for life because we locked in. We like this. You know what I mean? Forever. You understand? Forever. You got to deal with me and my goofy ass the whole time. We good here, you know what I mean? Shit. Damn. I know that scares some of y'all Christians. Because you Christians think you can go and get a divorce paper and go marry somebody else.
Salakia. What's the term they use when they want to get a divorce? They're not what?
Happy.
No. What's the other one that they try to use from the Bible?
There's another one?
Yeah, they'd be like, we wasn't evenly yoked.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not into deep Christians like that. Unequally yoked. Lying asshole, man. You know,
the pastor, he pretty much, it's almost like he gives a right of a divorce.
Okay.
By saying, well, if you and that man ain't evenly yoked, you know, you might want to go ahead and let him go.
He said that to her?
There's pastors that do that.
God,
for sure.
Damn.
For sure.
Pastor, that's crazy. You talk about
that. We'll do that.
And I'm here thinking that, and you think the Christian church is with you in your relationship?
Wow.
They want y'all to break up, man. Going divorce. They are promoting divorce. We don't promote divorce here. You have sex with that person, that's it.
If I could.
Absolutely.
because this reminds me of, a story when I was in the world. I was, I didn't really have Christians call it like a church home. And I wasn't big in the church anyway. The only way I would go there is if I got about 3 weeks of guilt tripping on my rib. Because we ain't no better, we in the world. So finally, I go, my best friend, that's my brother-in-law, I go to his church. And then later he told me that there was some big brawl in the church parking lot.
For real?
And it was because the pastor's son was sleeping all around the church with women, and some of them were married.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I know personally, he even got with somebody's wife that I know.
Damn.
Yeah.
Was it on the news?
No, it wasn't on the news.
Was it on the news?
This is something that just happened locally.
Damn.
And there was no ramifications behind his behavior. Like,
they just let him go?
Yeah, like he's the pastor's son, so it just flew. And I know in the ISUPK, when you transgress, and especially if you offend a brother or do something crazy, there is going to be a price that you have to pay, because that's the way the Lord has it set up. But in this church, no, he was in there sleeping with men's wives, and he was running through the church.
Damn.
He was running through the church.
And that just goes to show there is nobody changed. Like, okay, so I'm not going to say everybody in the Christian church is going there for no reason, but there's people in there that's looking at that church like this is where God is at. Right? You know what I mean? That's looking like this is where God is at, and they come in.
My water's
yeah, kind. Appreciate it. And they're looking at this place, and then when they get there, because I know every year. I mean, when I went to church, they had something where they would have the new visitors stand up, and we would give them a round of applause. And when I went to church, I don't know if they did that at your church, but they would announce the new visitors, and you a new visitor, and you just come into the church, and you see and hear something like that, like, God damn, man, the pastor's son.
It's like, yes, sir, it's only Sprite. You want Sprite?
Blah. And you see the pastor's son banging, cracking everybody in the church. Like, God damn. Like, man, like how many wives was it? Like, how many wives was it? Did they all hear about this cat? Like, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because they all paying tithes to him. They all go in there thinking this is where God is at. And really, it's a lie, man. That's actually very sad to hear. Like, God damn, he popped everybody's life. Go ahead.
And if I could,
yeah,
in the Christian church, a lot of brothers are, emasculated anyway.
Right.
By what the pastor does with empowering women.
Mm-hmm.
But in this situation, this particular brother was tall and big.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure those emasculated brothers wasn't even ready to, step to him, which you should just let the woman go anyway.
Right.
But not only did, this brother crack your wife, those brothers are so emasculated and such cowards that they probably wouldn't even step to him about it anyway.
I rock that. I don't give a F how big he is. I will rock him, dog. We are fighting that day, man. I don't care, man. If I was back in the world, you know what I mean?
Right.
If I was still in the world.
Sir, you have a warrior spirit. Like, you said you weren't really in the church like that?
No, I was. I was heavy in the church.
Okay.
I was a
well,
pastor.
That warrior spirit. I see.
They did. Oh, they did, man. They stopped. They try to cut it off, man. I wanted to be in the army when I was younger, and I was like, I want to go there and kill people. And they said, you want to go there and kill? Don't go to the army. And I didn't.
Well, they were right about one thing.
Right.
But for some reason, when I was in the church, if I could, Salaki, if I'm drawing things out,
nah, you go ahead.
You dropping some heavy points that are bringing back some memories about how hypocritical the church is. But when I was in church, I was young, so I really was asleep half the time, like mentally and like physically, spiritually. Like I barely heard everything the pastor said because I was either asleep or playing around in the basement with my friends. Like, I barely learned any of the doctrine. I just knew certain things and it didn't set in. So when I got to ISUPK, it was just so simple to be like, oh, I never learned this in church. Mm-hmm. This actually made sense. So, All praise, Most High in Christ.
Absolutely, man. And let me make a correction about myself. They wanted me to go to the army, like they was for me to go into the army. But on the day I had to go take my ASVAB test,
right?
My car broke down. I was like 19 or 20, and my car broke down, and I said, "This ain't meant for me," and I just stayed home. You know what I mean? Right. So that, hey, listen, if it wasn't for that day, I'd probably be fighting in Palestine right now, man. Well, yeah, man. But nice little sidetrack, man. But we talking about marriage and divorce.
I'll be right back to Ecclesiastes 23:17, sir.
Let's talk about this real quick. Go ahead and read it for me. We're at oh, you better say it.
Verse 17, the book of Ecclesiastes.
23 and 22.
23 and verse.
Oh, Salaki, you was on 17. Go ahead.
No sweat, sir. Yeah. All bread is sweet to a whoremonger. He will not leave off till he dies.
Right. All bread is sweet to a whoremonger, man. No matter, anything looks good to him. That's what we was talking about. Every type of woman looks good. You know what I mean? He don't have what Ray Sermon said. I don't got no type. He don't have no type.
Right.
Whatever comes in his way that he looks good, he is going to try to crack that. He's going to try to crush it. That's a whoremonger, man. No sense of direction, and I got you. And as men of the Lord, we have a sense of direction, man. You can't wear no booty shorts and some crop top, you know what I mean? And you think that was good to me. You know what I mean? I might be like, oh, you got a nice body, but I ain't going to pursue you. You know what I mean? You look like trash. You guys know what I'm saying?
Salaki, I just wanted to add one more thing. That whoremonger is something that, brothers don't need to have that type of spirit on because, I don't think I have one, single friend in the world that didn't have to go to that clinic.
Damn. I was about to get to that. Keep going. Talk to him.
I don't think I've had one friend that wasn't out there like that didn't have to go to that clinic.
Right.
Because they were messing around. Because they were messing around in the world and thinking they could just do any and everything that they could with these women. And for almost every single one of my friends in the world to have to, get that penicillin,
damn,
you gotta be living the wrong life.
Absolutely, man. And that actually is a heavy point because recently a friend of mine got herpes. You know what I mean? You can't get rid of that. Like, you can't get rid of that shit. You know what I mean? You stuck with it. I'm like, you might as well stay with him now. You know what I mean? You might as well stay with that brother. Both y'all got herpes.
Right. You might as well put that thing together like
I know, right? I'm like, damn, bro. And that just goes to show how serious your sexual. You need to have control over your lust, man.
Damn right.
Everything look good ain't good, man. She might be good looking on the outside, but she's deadly on the inside, man. And she gave you a gift that will not ever stop coming back. Or they're gonna be buying, I don't know what they buy, the antibiotics and the cream they put over those bumps, you know what I mean? For the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, man. So I urge you, brothers and sisters, please, when you're out there and you're dealing with people, be very, very careful. And it even gave me a wake-up call. Me personally, you know what I mean? Because I still go out, I go out on dates every now and again. You know what I mean? But I'm a priest, so I don't sleep with them on the first date. You know what I mean? I'm courting her. I'm trying to figure out where her mind at. But still, it can always happen. Listen, man, you serve the Most High. He will protect you from this trash out here. Right? There's nothing but trash in a dating pool. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's nothing but trash. Be very, 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 very selective out here, man. Everybody should not have access to you. You should not be sleeping with somebody on the first night or on the second night, man. It's deadly. You might regret it. Whew, man. All right.
You want me to continue?
That's it on the whoremonger, you know what I mean? He want everything he see. Let's go what happens when a woman decides to divorce her husband. Verse 22.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 23 and verse 22. Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband.
Right, so we got a wife that leaves her husband. Keep going.
and bringeth in an heir by another.
And bringing a heir by another. So what's a heir? A heir is another child by another man. Damn. So you as a woman, you step out on your husband, right? And you have a heir by another child. Keep going. I mean, you have a heir by another man. Keep going.
For first she hath disobeyed the law of the Most High.
Yeah. Firstly, you disrespected God. That's the first thing some of y'all, our women, need to understand. Disrespected God. Keep going.
And secondly, she hath trespassed against her own husband.
She had trespassed. You know what I mean? Broke the law against her own husband. Keep going.
And thirdly, she hath played the whore
Damn.
in adultery and brought children by another man.
And brought children by another man. Damn. Keep going.
Verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
She shall be brought out into the congregation.
She will be brought in the congregation, right?
And inquisition shall be made of her children.
Inquisition shall be made of her children. Go ahead.
Her children shall not take root.
Oh my God. Keep going.
And her branches shall bring forth no fruit.
Listen. Keep going. We're almost done. 26.
26. She shall leave her memory to be cursed.
Right.
And her reproach shall not be blotted out.
That sin ain't gonna go away. It says that sin shall not be blotted out. That's a stain right there. You're gonna be stained for life. Listen, sex is a life-changing decision.
Right.
It's life-changing. Be very, 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 very careful about who you are engaging with.
I'm right.
You know what I mean? And there's one more verse I wanted to get. It's in Jeremiah. I think it's Jeremiah. It's in one of the earlier chapters. Jeremiah 3. I'm trying to get in my Bible because I got the joint highlighted.
No sweat. And if you know a couple key words, I'll try to do a quick search for it if you want.
I gotta highlight it. I just gotta get to Jeremiah chapter 3. I want to say verse 15. Let me see real quick. Oh, it's like verse 1.
Verse 1?
Yeah, let me bring it up on my computer real quick. All right, Slacky, y'all, we are no longer in our pocket for, so I can go back to the app that I have over here. Follow me along like this. Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 1. And this goes for men that have a woman that has committed adultery on you. You know what I mean? You got to be very, very careful because we don't want to go back into polluted land. You know what I mean? Like once your wife cheats on you, never take her back. Don't do it. She didn't change. The only reason she's coming back is because the nigga that she with is trash. You know what I mean? Reread it for me when you got it.
Sir. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 1. They say, if a man put away his wife,
right,
and she go from him, and become another man's,
wife, right?
Shall he return unto her again?
Shall he return unto? Oh, what you doing?
It's curtains.
It's curtains, exactly. Keep going. Hell no.
And become another man's, shall he return unto her again?
Right.
Shall not the land be greatly polluted?
Shall not that land be greatly polluted? Listen, man, that box is polluted, brother. Don't do no simp shit and go back to her. Cut her off. She is done. She is done, man. She's done. Don't go back to it. Whatever reason why she left you, whatever reason why you put her away, don't go back to her. That is the law from the Most High. Don't go back. Don't go backwards. Move forward, nigga. You'll find another wife. You'll find another rib. Women outnumber us 5-1 or 3-1 or some number like that. Go and get another one, man. You shouldn't take no disrespect like that. My God. The stuff I learned when I wasn't Christian, man. Jeez. Can you imagine how many lives this would save if brothers wasn't Christian? They going back, chilling with the woman. Matter of fact, niggas in the world. You know what I mean? This is the knowledge. He said, hey, listen, one of the first verses we brought out. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, man. Right. Fear the Most High. Fear His laws, statutes, and commandments. These laws, statutes, and commandments will keep you safe. They'll keep you with a sound mind. They'll keep you STD-free, drama-free, and you'll be cooling from that, man. Now, we're going to get into interracial marriage. We're going to go into my main topic tonight, man. Give me the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 3. That's what we're going to read for y'all real quick, man. So in case y'all didn't know, do not be out there getting with the oppressor's woman.
Right.
You don't want none of that smoke. Read it when you got it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them, man. Don't be having sex with them. And we're going to find out who the them is. Go ahead.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
Uh-huh.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Oh, yes. Keep going.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
Right.
That they may serve other gods.
Uh-huh.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
So the anger of the Lord become against you. Finish off.
And destroy thee suddenly.
And destroy thee suddenly, man. The Most High God has restricted Israelites to dating within our family tree. Meaning the 12 tribes of Israel. That is who we are supposed to be having relations with.
Right.
From Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. That's who we want to have sex with. And to put it in modern terms, that's the Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, the Guatemala, Panama, Puerto Rico, Cubans, North American Indians, Seminole Indians, Argentina to Chile, Colombia to Uruguay, and Mexico. Those are who we are supposed to pick with, men and women. That's who we're going to decide to have sex with. You know what I mean? Stay away from the oppressor's children. Now, let's get to Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6 and verse 7. We're going back to the Apocrypha. You know what I mean? Because we're talking about marriage. Who we want to marry. You know what I mean? Please don't ever pick a disgusting, filthy heathen. Like, do y'all see some of the videos that's out online about what they do, what they eat? You shouldn't ever want to choose one of those East Indians, you know what I mean, who worship Shiva and stuff like that. Don't choose none of them. You know what I mean? I know we all seen the videos of them. Read it for me when you're ready, y'all.
And that was Ecclesiasticus.
Yes,
6 and 7.
Chapter 6 and verse 7.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
If thou wouldest get a friend,
uh-huh,
prove him first.
Prove him first, man. You think this woman is going to pull up on you and think, oh, be all nice and talk sweet to you? Or a man, and for a woman, you know what I mean? I used to wonder how women will get gamed up by these losers. And I come to realization that women are meant to be sweet talked to. I mean, that's how they're wired, to fall for words. You know what I mean? But be careful. Don't be stupid and silly out here. Read that from the top again.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 6, verse 7.
Go ahead.
If thou wouldest get a friend.
If you would get a friend, somebody that you call your brother, your homie, your blood. Keep going.
Prove him first.
Prove him first, man. He got to go through something first. Listen, none of my friends in the world, I got one friend in the world. That's it. And that's because that boy will give me money when I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? That's it. I got one friend in the world. Rest of my friends in ISUPK, man. He proved himself. Keep going.
And be not hasty to credit him.
Don't be hasty to credit him. Listen, I don't call everybody my friend just because we laugh and talk and we crack jokes we had a job cracking jokes and shit. You're not my friend just because of that. You gotta prove yourself, man. You gotta do something for me. You know what I mean? I gotta show you that you really about my well-being. That you really care for me, man. Keep going.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion.
Right. Some people just friend just for the time being. You know what I mean? They might see you and they might want something from you. Because this is going into my topic. Right. Talking about the Osage, the Osage, I don't know how to pronounce this name, the Osage Nation. You know what I mean? We're going to get into that. You gotta prove a friend first, man. They might want something for you. Go ahead.
And will not abide in the day of trouble.
It will not abide in the day of trouble. When it comes down to your troubles, they ain't going to be there.
Oh, so like
you going
of thy troubles.
Of thy trouble. It's all good. You're going to be there for them. But are they going to be there for you? That's the real question. You know what I mean? A real friend is somebody who helps you move. That's a real friend. You know what I mean? Somebody that helps you move. That's how you know you got a solid nigga by your side. You know what I mean? And a real friend, somebody that really actually loves you, is going to give you correction. They're going to show you what to do and not to do. They're going to give you correction. Keep going if you don't mind.
Out of one kind. Verse 9. And there is a friend who being turned to enmity and strife will discover thy reproach.
God damn. Self-explanatory. You know what I mean? Now, let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, and we're going to start at verse 10. We're going to start at verse 10, man. Don't worry, we're about to talk about the Osage Nation in a little bit. We'll get these verses out real quick. Verse 10, go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10.
We're reading from the Apocrypha for y'all.
Never trust thine enemy.
Never trust thine enemy. The oppressor, you should never trust them, man. I don't care how friendly they are. Smiling in your face, laughing with you, joking with you. You know what I mean? They talking about they hate the oppressor too. Don't believe nothing they say. Read it from the top.
Never trust thine enemy.
Never trust them, man. Listen to the Most High God talking. Keep going.
For like as iron rusted.
For as iron rust. We all see what rust. No matter what happens, that iron is going to rust. Keep going.
So is his wickedness.
So is his wickedness. See, it's showing, you know what I mean? You might have something that's good in the beginning. You feel me? That should be good in the beginning. It looked like gold. It looked like it's clear, it's silver, it's sparkling. But sooner or later, that thing is going to rust. And you're going to look at the filth that is before you, as what happened to the Osage Nation. You know what I mean? Our Native American brothers and sisters. That's what happened to them. Give me Proverbs chapter 55 and verse 21. 55 and verse 21. That's where we're going next, y'all. I mean, it's like Psalms chapter 55 and 21. Psalms. I mean, never trust thine enemy, man. I don't have any heathens as friends. I'm sorry, I don't. I barely even talk to people when I'm outside. I don't talk to nobody. I like going to my crib, I go to work, and I go home. I hang with my ISUPK brothers, and that's really it. Like I said, I got one friend in the world. One friend. That's it. I don't nobody else. You know what I mean? And they're definitely not no heathen. There's no heathen that's my friend. You got that verse? You read it when you're ready.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21.
Go ahead.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Keep going.
But war was in his heart.
But war is in his heart, man. The oppressor, there is nothing but war in his heart. Remember, Esau was blessed with the sword. All right? He is blessed to kill. Fun fact, I was talking to my mother the other day, right? And she thought she was going to drop some knowledge on me about how the oppressor killed, I think it was over 60 million buffalo to cut off the supply for Native Indians. They killed 60 million buffalo. The buffalo is damn near extinct today. Just to get to them, they don't care what they have to kill to get to you, man. They kill everything, man. Is that all in that verse?
La, sir.
All right, keep going.
But war was in his heart.
But war was in his heart, man.
His words were softer than oil.
Uh-huh.
Yet were they drawn swords.
Yet were they drawn swords. Be very, very, be very, very careful of the oppressor. Go back to Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 11. Verse 11 for me, all right? 10 and 11. It's like at 12 to 11.
12 and 11?
Yeah.
Read
it when you're ready.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Though he humble himself.
So he's not coming all angry and aggressive. You know what I mean? He's coming there soft and sweet. Right. Go ahead.
And go crouching.
Uh-huh.
Yet take good heed and beware of him.
They said for that extra friendly heathen, the extra friendly oppressor, right? Beware of him. Beware of him. Talking to you on the camera. Beware of him. Everybody watching me. Beware of him. Keep going.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass.
Uh-huh.
And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
God damn. His rust is not altogether wiped away. You know what I mean? And the verse before that, in verse 10, we read where it says that his wickedness is going to be like a rust. It's going to show. You can't wipe it off. You know what I mean? Because eventually his true nature is going to come out. The oppressor's true nature is going to come out. You cannot get rid of that. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 43. We're getting there, y'all. We're going to talk about the Osage people. We're getting there. I got to get these precepts out real quick, man.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 43.
Yep.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 43.
Keep going.
The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high.
So get the above thee very high. The stranger, that's what the, and these strangers is talking about heathens. They ain't talking about like an Israelite stranger. This is an actual physical stranger. Keep going.
And thou shalt come down very low.
And you should be very low, right?
Verse 44. He shall lend to thee.
Slugger, that's it.
Okay.
Now, what we're going to talk about. Oh, one more verse. I got to read this verse. The book is 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 6. 2 Timothy 3 and 6. Let me get on my computer. 1 second. 2 Timothy. Right, go ahead. Read them when you're ready.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 6.
Right.
For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts.
And we're about to figure out what happens when they're led away by diverse lusts. If you have a lust of the oppressor, you know what I mean? It is going to be your downfall. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be your downfall. You're either going to end up in jail or dead behind the oppressor, or any heathen at that. And we just read in Deuteronomy where even if you link with the heathen, they're going to get above you. And they're going to be the head, and you're going to be the the head. I mean, it's like the tail. Listen, the Osage Nation, right? These are Native Americans. And I just found it out because I was making my class, right? And I was trying to figure out what to talk about. And I came across this, somebody told me about this movie. It's called Killers of the Flower Moon, right? And it's about the Osage Nation. Now, I know when y'all clicked on the title, y'all seen a picture of a couple of people. The Osage Nation is a nation of Indians, right? I'll give you some background. They got kicked off their land and they was moved to Oklahoma. And there they was given trash. The oppressor thought they was giving them trash land to live on. They thought it was trash. But really, it was an oil. It was rich with oil, right? It was rich with oil. A man, a devil, an oppressor named William King Hale. He was the leader of this terrorist group, right? And I want y'all to go and research this, man. It's called the Osage Nation Murders, right? William King Hale was a leader of this terrorist group. They are terrorists. And he was posing as a regular businessman and a good-hearted friend. And we just read those verses where it says, you got to prove a friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? You gotta examine who this man is, who he really is. You know what I mean? Don't be blindsided by this guy, man. Because we just read where war was in his heart. He said his words were smooth as butter, but war was in his heart. War was inside this white man's heart. Because he's seen how rich the Osage Nation was getting. Seen the money that was coming in, right? And how they're going to infiltrate this nation. Our beautiful sisters over there in the First Nation, men and women, you know what I mean? Through interracial marriage. Because they seen how much money they was getting from this oil, right? Let me give y'all some history. The Osage Nation, they got onto that plantation, they started getting oil money, right? Started getting mad oil money. They had something called head rights. And with these head rights, they couldn't be bought or sold. Follow me? They couldn't be bought or sold. Think of it like shares in a company, like stock today in a company, right? They had these shares that each of them ever had. So this man named William King Haley, right? He got his nephew to marry a woman from the Osage Nation. Her name is Molly Kai, right? And her husband is Ernest Bookhart. He's a devil. Ernest is a devil. And the Native Indian woman is Molly. You know what I mean? So after these people got married, a few years, like 2 years into the marriage, her family members end up dead, one after the other. Her sister, Minnie Smith, was poisoned unexpectedly, right? Another sister, Anna Brown, was shot in the back of the head and dumped in a ravine. And this is where it took a turn for the worse for the oppressor, because they thought they was never going to get caught. But it was so big and so wide that everybody started catching on. Because all of these murders happened between 1901 and 1925. You know what I mean? So people was dying left and right. Reports say about 60 members died, but I think it was more than that because they was infiltrating a long time. Moving on. So after the two sisters died, her mother died, Lizzie Q, suspectedly of being poisoned. You know what I mean? Now remember, they married devils, and the devils wanted money. And her sister, Rita Smith, died, and I think it was a home explosion. Like these devils planted a bomb inside this lady's house just to kill them. right? And the reason why Molly was chosen was because she was diabetic. And at that time, insulin shots was like brand new. So this devil thought he could kill her off as the last one, kill her off real quick. You know what I mean? By poisoning, because she was diabetic. So what this devil did, he had so much money, he was hiring people outside. So he hired these doctors, right? So the doctors that Molly was getting her insulin shots from was poisoning her with something. They didn't say what the poison was, but her insulin shot, when she would take that shot, she would get poisoned by it. You know what I mean? Until eventually she moved away, she secluded herself and moved away and went to a proper hospital, and she became better. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Damn right.
And if you marry into one of them, there is a plot behind it. They're not marrying you just because you look good. You either got something they want. I could look at all the actors today, man, marrying outside their race. Let's go Serena Williams. You know what I mean? She married a devil. Why? He don't want you because you look so great. You know what I mean? He don't appreciate a woman, a black woman like the ISUBK does. He wants you because you're rich. You know what I mean? And this is why I'm here to tell y'all, man. Interracial marriage is a sin of the Most High. Do not intermarry with the especially the devil, man. Like you gotta be crazy. They captured, to my First Nation men and women, they captured y'all first here. They first came over here and they gave y'all smallpox. They made y'all walk the Trail of Tears, and you still trust them. The Bible said to never trust thine enemy, man. Because once you do think they're sweet and they love you, but in the end, they're vile and disgusting. And as you can see, with Molly, with the sister named Molly, she found out the hard way. You thought they was marrying you because they was just so nice and they loved you. They killed everybody in your family to get your money. That's what they did. I mean, look up the Osage Nation, y'all. Seriously, it's a crazy story. Look up that thing, man. And of course, I have to end it off. I'm gonna go to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians. I think it's chapter 6, man. One second. 1 Corinthians. Oh, wait. Where is that? Oh, I got it. And to finish it off, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going to 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 11. Chapter 5 and verse 11.
Sir, the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 11. But now I have written unto you not to keep company.
It's like in 2 Corinthians 5 and 11.
Oh, 2 Corinthians, like I was in 1
Corinthians. So
the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 11. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord.
Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord. Brothers and sisters, we know the terror of the Lord. And I want, as Paul said, I want all Israel to be saved, man. I really want y'all out here to get saved, man. Come into the ISUBK, shed yourselves of the world. Then I mean, be brand new. Keep going. It's like read from the top.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 11. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men.
And that's it. we persuade men. Because I know the devastating things that the Most High can do to us, man.
Right.
I know the results of our actions, the results of things we've been taught as Christians, you know what I mean? As Muslims or any other group we want to. I know the things that we've been taught. I know the terror of the Lord. Look around you, man. Our people are dying every single day. You know what I mean? We are here living in hell. We are living in hell. We know the terror of the Lord, so we persuade men. So we're going to go out on the street corners. We're going to teach the Most High God and say, keep these commandments. And I pray y'all understand, you know what I mean? Because I really do care for my people. That's why I do this, you know what I mean? I'm not doing this because I want to. You know what I mean? I'm not doing this because I'm forced to do it. I'm doing it because I want to. It's like I misspoke. I'm doing it because I want to.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love teaching the law class. I love teaching on the law, how to keep the law. For a long time, we was taught that the law is done away with. But the Most High God said that the law is not done away with. The law is what keeps us, man. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the class over to the precinct officer called.
Sweat. All right, this is the ISUPK security announcements. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Next, we have tithes, which is a commandment that can be found in Numbers 18 and 21, and also Malachi 3, 8 through 10. In the Hebrew, it is called ma'ashera, which is 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Also, we do have a free will offering, which is a priest fund. If you would like to donate money, or if you would like to give a bottle, we accept that as well. It is not mandatory, but it is definitely appreciated. All right, our next up and coming holy convocation, I believe, is the Feast of Purim, which is the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. That would be Thursday, the 22nd of February, and Friday, the 23rd of February, 2024. That can be found in Esther 9, 20 through 31.
Right.
All right. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, please remember to wear a black headband, war scarf, black boots, pants, and shirt. And with that being said, men of Israel, Amayim, which means to stand, right? Amayim Shabbat, Amayim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Brakathum, Yajmatah. Sar, we're going to give the sisters a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amayim Shabbat, Amayim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Adatham, Hashem Yahshua, Yajmatah. Class dismissed.